Alrighty, College Place, welcome to episode 8. This one's going to be going over internet images that work best for engraving on the laser. And then I'm going to go over some of the tips and tricks on how to manipulate that using some of the tools that we previously learned in Photoshop. So first things first, go ahead and open Photoshop if you haven't already. Bring out the notes if that is something that you are doing. And as well, open up Google Chrome. So first thing we're going to do is before you ever import any sort of image, you got to understand that you have to understand the sizing of your document. So I'm trying to think of something to engrave on. Let's say you have a piece of wood that is 5 by 5 inches. What we're going to do is go File, New, and you're going to make it the size of your canvas, basically. So we're going to go 5 by 5. Keep these all the same here. We're going to go 300 pixels per inch, RGB color, which is red, green, blue, if you didn't know. 16-bit, and then the background as white. And we're going to hit create. So now we have our document and our layers right here, because we need to pay attention to those layers again. I know I briefly covered that in the last episode, but I just want to make sure that we understand this even more. So now let's go ahead and open Chrome. And what we're going to do is search Superman logo. So go ahead and do that. And we're going to select the first one right here. Now before we go and work on this, I want to give you a quick example. See this black and white one right here? Now this is a great example of what it's going to look like when we're done, because we want everything in that we want engraved to be black. The laser is going to read any black text or shape or graphic basically, and it's going to engrave whatever it sees that is black. Anything that is white is going to be disregarded as nothing. So we need to make sure that it looks like this in the end. Now obviously this isn't with the vectorized process, but you get the concept. Now this one right here is going to be a little bit trickier because it depends on the effect that you're going for. So if we have this image and we look at the insides of it, you notice that the S that would normally be pronounced for Superman is white. So it is going to disregard that and print everything that is black on the inside. So you're going to get sort of this inverse look. So it really depends on what you're looking for and what you want. So let's go ahead and grab this one right here. What we're going to do is File and Save As. So right click, Save Image As, and then I already saved it, but I'm just giving you the quick example here. Alrighty, so once you have that saved, go ahead and open up Photoshop. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go File. You probably can't see that, can you? We're going to go File and Open. And we're going to search through here and look for our Superman logo. Click it and hit Open. And now this is going to appear on our logo right here. And you can see that it is layer 1 because what we've just opened is the only thing on this page at the moment. So now, here's the little tricky part if you're not paying attention. So make sure you pay attention as best you can right here because this is very important. We want to bring this Superman logo onto the document that is the size of our canvas. So as you can see up here, let me get rid of this one real quick. And get rid of this just so it's a little easier to see. So what we have up here at the top is our canvas that is the size of our piece of wood that we're going to be engraving on. We have our Superman logo. So what we're going to do is make sure that this logo is unlocked. So you can see it's unlocked. There's no lock symbol right here. And what we're going to do is simply create a new layer on this one right here that is not the background. So we're going to hit this little page right here and make it right above here. Go ahead and name that Superman logo. Perfect. Make sure it's selected because we're going to drag this Superman icon over onto the Superman logo layer. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our Move tool here, and we're going to click and hold on the logo and drag it up here until this page shows up, still holding down on the mouse, and then you'll drag it right to the center here and release. Boom, there we go, right on our document. Sorry, I've got the sniffles because my allergies are flaring. Anyways, so now that we have that here, you'll notice that the Superman logo is still untouched and it created a new layer on top. I might have deselected it in between, but a lot of times when you're bringing something new, it sort of freaks out and says, oh, we don't want to merge anything, so we're going to create a new layer. So here and there it'll work, but most often it's going to like do a little freak out and be like, oh, just kidding, and put it on a different layer. So you can go ahead and get rid of this layer. I wasn't really taking that into consideration, so let's go ahead and delete that layer, and now we have these two layers as is. Alrighty, so now we can get to work. Make sure this background layer is locked so that you don't manipulate that and that this one is unlocked. So first things first, we need to understand what it is that we want to get rid of in here, because we only want what we're going to engrave. So if we go back to the internet real quick and look at this, we can use this as a reference point to see what it is that we want to get rid of. So you notice that inside Photoshop you have these black lines here. Those can stay because we want as much black as possible. What we're going to try and do is get this red to be black and this yellow to be white, or disappear. So what we're going to do first is grab right here in this magic wand and quick selection tool area. We're going to grab our magic wand tool. So then we're going to go over here and click right here on the yellow, and you'll notice that it selected all of that yellow. That is because it looked for every pixel that is similar in the area and grabbed all of them. The nice thing is, if you bring in an image that is nice and sharp, as you can see this one is, it's very clean looking, it's going to do even better at those selections. If you bring in something with a lower DPI or dots per inch like we talked about previously, it's not going to do as good of a job because there's going to be so many out of place pixels. So let's go ahead now and look towards the top while this is still selected, and what we're going to do is view, let's see here. Alright, we're going to go up here to select. Sorry, I haven't done this for a super long time, so it's taken me a while. We're going to go to the select bar right up here on top. We're going to click that, and we're going to go down to similar, and it's going to select everything that is similar to what we've selected. So now you can see this portion, and this portion are all selected. And with one click of a button, it's all going to go away. We're going to hit the delete key. Boom, that is all white. So far we are 50% of the way done. So now we're going to Control D to deselect, if y'all remember that. And there we go. Now all we have is white, red, and black. So now we need to get rid of this red and make it black because we want it to cut out this area in here. So to do that, we're going to grab that magic wand tool again and click that. And this one's super easy as an example because it's all put together. So what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to select that with our magic wand tool. Go up to select, similar, and delete. Now Control D to deselect. Beautiful. We are almost done. So, as you notice, it's starting to change on your layer right here, so you know you're doing good. So, now you might be wondering, how the heck am I going to get all of this black? Now, one option would be to paint it with the brush tool. It's going to take you forever, so I don't recommend doing that. So here's a quick trick. Hit Control Z, and that's going to bring you back to the selection right here. Now remember when we talked about the background layer right here, we hit Alt Delete, and that filled it with a color? Well, we're going to use that same exact concept. So go ahead and click this layer right here, this color, and we're going to go click and drag all the way down to the bottom corner so we get the blackest of black that we can possibly get. Hit OK, and then Alt key, and then backspace. And now we can Control D, and boom, there we go. We have a full black layer. Our only problem right now is we have these little lines right here where that black and red was beforehand. Now, to get rid of that, what we're going to do is basically make everything black. So now, we're going to take this quick selection tool, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to select this little area right here. So we have a little bit of that line selected and a little bit of the black selected. So now we can go back up to our selection. Let's go right here, we'll go select, similar. Now that's going to select our whole entire document, including all of this. and we can do Alt backspace. And now everything is black. Now if you didn't quite understand what I just did there, basically by selecting any pixel inside of that selection portion that we just did with this this little tool right here, basically selecting similar is going to take everything that is inside that selection and look for the same exact pixel type, which in this case is everything inside the logo. And then by hitting Alt and backspace, it is going to basically fill with any color that you have inside your little swatch right here. So now let's Control D, and we have a perfectly set up Superman logo. Now if we go to the internet real quick, you will see we have the exact same thing, and we are looking golden. Now before we can cut this, we have to do one more important thing: positioning and sizing. So now we're going to click this and Control T, and you got to make sure that you've sized it accordingly to what you want. So I'm going to make it a little smaller. We'll say this was a logo for something. I'm going to put it in the bottom left corner here. Hit enter. And, you know, make sure that you put it wherever you want, because the laser is basically going to say, okay, we don't know where to put this, so you have to size it for yourself. So this brings up another really interesting point. So because this little Superman logo here is so small, if I Control T, you see this border that it creates around it? The laser is going to read the exact same thing. So when it cuts, it's only going to recognize this line around here, and it's totally going to disregard the size of the document that you've created. So we have to take into consideration that factor right there. So what we're going to do is create on the same layer, see if I can go over here, a square, but what we're going to do is start at the very top left corner and drag all the way down to the bottom right corner and let go. And we're going to only fill it with black on the outline. Make sure that this right here is unselected. The fill is unselected. That's this white with the red slash through it. And then we're going to make it a little bit bigger. That is way too big. And so basically what we've just done, if you can see in the corner here, we have this black line. Basically now the laser is going to say, I have a reference point to how big your document's going to be. Now I can't exactly show you how this is going to work yet, because this will be in the next video, but we're going to show you sort of the laser software. So I'll be at College Place High School doing a little video there. That's going to take me a little while, so you guys will have to wait just a little bit, but we'll get there. So for now, just practice as much as you can, and I will get those videos out as soon as possible. So hope all is going well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.